Okay, this is the Clan League Finals match, Seto versus SirSmokes. Oops, didn't mean to play that move, but it is in fact the starting move of the game. Um, this was the deciding game of the match. We're tied 1-1. I did not record this game live, and I didn't think I had seen it. But as I played it through, I remembered watching this game, so I don't know why I didn't record it. Other stuff must have been going on. But I remember in the critical position, which we're going to move to quickly because I really want to just focus on what I think was a unbelievable move, just fabulous move that one of the players made, and I really want to focus on that move. And I think the rest of the game is, for our purposes, not going to be as interesting. The two players have really honed in on 8-7-6-5s as generally the best cards. In some games, one or the other is using 9-8s as well. This is a rule set that limits the number of 9-9s and 9s you can run, I believe, if I remember right. And I think in those times, good players are regularly coming down to 9-8-6-2s as the best version of 9-8s rather than 9-8-5-4s, which might be more traditionally used. Seto is our hand on the right, Smokes is our hand on the left. Both of them have run more and less 8-7-6-5s. I think through the match, actually, Smokes has been less of the 8-7-6-5 guy, but here he's clearly gone all in on them. And Smokes starts, not there, but with Seto starts. Seto is our red player, Smokes our blue player, with a big corner. Now, Smokes has combo play one way and combo play the other. So he just decides, I'm going to set stuff up even more. I'm just going to make sure I have extra sames, extra pluses that are not all that shared between the hands, right? So he makes it so his 8-5-6-7, his nice play in 4, as does his 5-8-7-6, two cards that his 5-8-6 has both 2 and 4, so it's the only card he needs to hold in his hand to have both squares. And Seto does not have both squares with the same card. However, Seto can fix that, and he promptly does. He plays 5-6-7-8 in 3, which gives his 7-6-8-5 combo play in both 2 and 4. And Smokes makes quite an interesting move here, which is going to bring us to our main position. And this is the main position to explore, and I will spoil in advance that you probably know because this is way after the fact. Seto wins this game, and Brotherhood of Seed goes on to win Clan League due to winning this match in large part. And I think both, as we've seen from the other videos, have played really spectacular matches, but this is maybe probably by a decent margin actually, the best move of the match, and just a really fascinating move to find. And unlike my normal videos, I haven't just put the cards that people play in order of moves, so you can't just be like, it's a move with the top card listed, which is kind of a giveaway on some of my videos. But this one, I randomized them, so if it is the top card, that's random, it could be any of them, right? So I think when someone goes in somewhere like 6, what they're saying is, you can't go in 2. And indeed, if Seto tries to occupy 2, this is the only card that really makes any sense there. Smokes is going to combo back really hard, and Smokes is winning here. This is obviously Smokes' point. He looked and he said, I have combo play against your card in 1, and it's hard for you to play next to that card in 1 without walking into combos. If I take your card in 3, the only way you can be safe to combos is to play this horrible looking move, and here I assume this also wins. No, this one loses. Why does this one lose? I guess this gives counterplay here. Okay, fair enough. So show me a winning move. You do it with this card. And of course this does not give counterplay because you now only have 5s to the left. So you got to be really careful about what you put near the big corner. This is a weakness of big corners that the opponent has combo play against. And Smokes is very aggressively trying to take advantage of that. And I think Smokes is one of the most aggressive players out there in that he makes moves saying, you have to have this or I have combo play. And those moves often are really high risk moves. And that makes him, I think, one of the best players, one of the really strong players on the site who is most likely to win or lose a given game rather than likely to tie it. And here we can kind of see why that is, because he's asking a very explicit question of Seto. Now, whenever you make a move like this, you're also sort of conceding squares, right? If Seto can play in 9 safely, that could be a problem. But Smokes is 9 really well covered. He's just going to combo stuff there, and I think both these moves here are not very good. If you got to do one of them, definitely do this move, because 7-6-8-5 has a lot more play everywhere. But this is quite a difficult position, because fundamentally, if Seto goes in 2 or 4, he's incredibly susceptible to combo. The only card that's not susceptible to combo also isn't doing anything, and Smokes is happy to play in the other square and just grab the cards. You do have a card that's good in 2 and 4, so you might think, okay, leave those squares open, play in 5, play in 8, or play in 9. But there's not really a move in 5 that helps your setups very much. The most appealing, I think, is something like this. And this is not a bad move, right? Because 7-6-8-5 is pretty good in 2 and 4, and 8-6-2-9 is quite powerful in 8 and 9, right? This certainly has its appeal. And we notice here, Smokes has a hard time ever playing in 2 and not comboing a bunch of stuff, right? He can't really play in 2 and not flip cards. Or sorry, in 4, right? Anything he puts in 4 is going to flip enough cards, is going to flip that card in 1 and be really susceptible to combos back either way, right? Either of those is going to be dangerous. But Smokes can go here, and I believe this move should tie. I didn't actually check. Yeah, it does. And we end up with a tie. So 5 has some appeal in that it can leave you set up in both squares, but it's hard to see all that appealing an option. You definitely got to keep 7-6-8-5. If you play 8-6-2-9 there, your play in 2 doesn't have captures on it. Your 7-6-8-5 stops being as good a sweeper. So that doesn't seem very appealing. If you're going to go in 8, okay, which card to use? The problem is if you use this card, you've given away all left power. And if you use this card, you're kind of just giving away the square in 9, aren't you? Just seems pretty unappealing. And 9 itself, as we said, this one doesn't work. It's comboed, and a move like this is not gonna, get you a ton here. Actually, this is probably the second best move in the position. Smokes only has 1 tie. I think he has to find this move to hold. So this is very high pressure. There are options with high pressure. And this is probably the second best move. But I think Seto finds a spectacular move that relies on something. I was making a video about some Turds games recently, and they all seemed incredibly specific in that a lot of the moves weren't, and I think Turds is very good at heuristics and general principles and understanding, but there were a lot of moves that relied very exactly on the number sequences that would follow. And not to make this a video about someone else, but I was thinking about Turd's play recently, and he was like, I have strong runs and poor runs, and I feel like he felt like he was on a poor run right now. Though he did play very well in the Xmas tournament, the Christmas tournament. But it got me thinking when I was looking at these games, like, if you're playing these very specific moves and your calculation starts going, your performance is going to go with it. If your strength is being really good at kind of general feel for the position and you start missing stuff, maybe the general feel compensates, but if you're looking for really specific things and you start missing things, suddenly the specific things completely fall apart. It was just a thought. I'm not sure it's true. But what I think Seto does here is just this phenomenally specific move. Incredible move. So my memory is I was watching this game and I put this position in the solver while I was watching it because I was curious. I had some thoughts, but I hadn't really gotten that far, and I just wanted to know what was going on. And the solver said Seto is winning. And I thought, shit. And then I said, what's the move? And the solver made the move, and I went, oh, I'm not worried. Seto's not going to find this. Like, as good as Seto is, I don't think he's going to find this. Smokes is going to hold here. Well, long story short, Seto did find it. I don't even think he used all his time here. He has a much better feel for moves like this than I do. Another thing I was saying recently that I'd like to bring back is I described Villalva as combo sensitive, as kind of weird to make a Star Wars connection for me because I know very little about Star Wars. It's not my thing, but they have this force sensitive thing, right? Some people are force sensitive, and I feel some people just have this preternatural feel, not just for play to the diagonal and set up a combo, but just the impact on the board that all these combos will have. And there's this wonderful thing that Seto's move does. And Seto makes a move I mentioned, but I brushed past quickly. Seto plays 8-6-2-9 and 5. And what's wonderful about this move, rather than something like 7-8-6-5 and 9, is even though this concedes some things, you'll notice Seto no longer can capture 7 from 8. But Smokes cannot play in 2 or 4 without comboing. 8-7-6-5s are just too good at comboing, and Seto's taken advantage. This card can't go here without flipping both. This card can't go here without flipping 1, susceptible to combo. This card now flips both, that 8 up. All flips are guaranteed. This card flips 1, gonna be comboed back. This card flips both. This card flips 1, gonna be comboed back. So whatever Smokes does in 2 or 4, he's gonna have to combo something, and he's gonna be weak to it, because his cards are just too good at comboing, and Seto has not set up the combos just for his own hand. He has set up the combos for Smokes' hand, guaranteeing Smokes has to flip stuff he doesn't want to. And you so rarely see this with 3 cards left. 5 is also one of the more unusual moves in this position. I'd say 8 is the least likely, but 5 is probably the second least likely. And so Seto finds a move in an incredibly uncommon square, setting up massive combo potential for his opponent. For himself, he's only using the combos he's already set up. He already has his 7-6-8-5 ready to go in 2 or 4. This adds a little power to 4, but not much, and that's not the point. The point is he has locked in Smokes combos, which is a phenomenal bit of calculation. And it works. A really important point is that this move in 8 is covered by the card that's not his combo card. So it's really important that, for instance, if Smokes plays in one of these squares, Seto combos, that Smokes doesn't have this at the end, right? Because if Seto didn't have the plus here and could only flip 6, this would just be a tie. So very important he has that at the end. Again, really specific, right? That 7-8-6-5 has just the right 2 gap to do what needs to be done on the bottom. It's fine that it doesn't take this one. That doesn't matter. We're going to sweep at the end because you're guaranteed you have to combo things, and thus you have to flip them, and I'm going to combo back so hard. So I think this 8-6-2-9 and 5 move, honestly, is the single move of the Clan League Finals, the most beautiful move of the finals. It's really a shame I don't have it in better graphics. I hope I have done it due credit here. Smokes, to his credit, who is just a wonderful sport, said, and honestly, this is the reason I decided to make the video, because if I haven't recorded live, I sometimes don't want to, dig in someone's losses, but he said, it's a shame you don't have it, because that was an incredible move, and so I wanted to take a look, and when I looked at it, I remembered, oh, I saw this, and just assumed that no human would find it, and Seto did find it, and I think once you see it, it all starts making sense. But I don't think I can say enough of this is not an easy move to have on your radar. And even when it does come up, you have to really start noticing all these little quirks. You have to notice that 7-8-6-5 doesn't dominate the bottom, but does what it needs to do. And that all 3 of their cards are now locked into combos that Smokes just doesn't want. So I have the end of the game somewhere, but I don't even have it up anymore. I should find it just for the record. So this is from the Clan League Finals, just to get the actual finish. But I think the focus of just one move here is really the correct way to look at this game. There is one move that really matters in this game, and this is that move. So Smokes does play an 8, right? Playing the card in 8 that doesn't have an 8 to the right, and Seto plays in 9, leaves open the combo in both squares. Smokes must combo, and Seto hits back with just enough to win. And that's our game, and that game decided the finals. The score was 2-1. This made it 2-2. It wasn't technically the decider, but the other match, Brotherhood of Seed, already had a lead in, and this was the one that was tied. This was the one that I think was the evenest played match of any of the matches. Smokes arguably won 2 games in this match, right? One of them lost to his internet, and then he went back and won that game anyway. I'm really impressed and proud of how Smokes played in this match, but also Seto made magic on board. This move in 5, I think very highly of my own play. I don't think I would have played this move. I'm pretty confident I wouldn't. Like, pretty confident. It's the kind of spot where I think Seto is just one of the greatest players and can find moves like this that are beyond lots of other great players. This is the kind of situation that I think makes Seto, that makes it, like, Seto for many reasons is one of the best four players ever. But I think this is one of the kind of examples where he is above and beyond the competition. The kind of move he makes and he spots and has that feel for combo potential. And this is combo potential for the opponent, not for himself, that really puts him apart. So hopefully I gave it due credit here. I think it's a really cool game. I think it also took Smokes playing enterprisingly to get this fantastic game. A lot of the times you see a great game, it's, sometimes you see a cool move because the opponent played so sloppily it allowed a big setup. But this is an unusual kind of setup, and it's really something special. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm glad I went and took a look back at it, even though I don't really like remembering this Clan League thing that happened. And hopefully we do better next time. And hopefully I do better next time too. It feels worse when you let a clan down as leader than when you let it down as, random player on the team. Not that any of our players are random, but I in the past have sometimes been a random player on a team, and felt less bad there if I let teammates down. But that's okay. It's not about me. It's about Seto. He played a wonderful move here and a really special game. And I think, the more you look at it, the more you go, of course. But that's losing, I think, the magic of it. And I hope that looking at it this way has gotten a feel of, this is an absurd move to have found. There is, you have 5 or 7 minutes. There is so much to look at here. This is a complex position. The cards don't quite fit, but sort of also fit great. And to find a move primarily based on setting up your opponent is a really creative and fantastic thing to do here.